Welcome, everybody, to the Music Spectrum podcast. My name is Ron Glista, and I got a very special guest here tonight. Longtime friend of mine, would actually consider her maybe a sister because I've known her since she was a little kid, and probably because I grew up at her house almost as much as I was at my own house. So, welcome this evening, Brooklyn. How are you, Brooke?
I am so good. How are you,
I am doing
brother?
fantastic, sister.
So
Uh,
weird. You're old.
I know.
Look
Brooke
at us
and I
now.
we go way back. I'm good friends with her brother Josh, and I grew up at her house, and we had a lot of good times
You used
together.
to torture me with my brother. Good times.
Yeah,
Okay.
we
Sibling
did.
stuff.
We had a lot of fun though as well too. Um, but the reason why I wanted to have Brooke on here today is Brooke has a huge catalog of music. She's all over the place, just like me. And the kicker is, Brooke is a musician herself, aren't you?
I sure am.
Well,
I do some singing here and there
here and
for
there.
a few years. Yeah, I've been doing this thing for a minute. I think,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Um,
yeah, playing
why don't
around.
you uh, why don't you let everybody know a little bit about yourself, Brooke?
Well, in a nutshell, it's been a dream of mine to always, to be on a stage and sing and that sort of thing. And I've had a lot of jobs through the early years, and then I finally just said screw it and started really, really, really studying music. But not until my late 20s is actually when it really started kicking in. I mean, I've always wanted to do stage singing and all that sort of thing, but I just was going for the safe route. But then I learned that the safe route isn't really the way to go no matter what, because you can still lose it all and it doesn't matter anyway, even when you were trying to play it safe.
Okay.
So yeah, so one day I just woke up one day and I was like, that's it. I'm going in, and started exploring that, and somehow came across Andrew, and we've been playing pretty much ever since together. So it's been about 12. I was asking him today, I said, how long have we been playing music together? And he said, I don't really know. 12, maybe 12 years, 12 years, 13 years, something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so growing up, what turned you on to music, or who turned you on to music, or where did this passion come from when you were a young kid? Because I know it wasn't from your brother and I.
No, my brother once picked up a saxophone because it seemed pretty cool to play the saxophone, though. I do know that. He did that back in the
Okay.
day. No, but I actually begged my mom for a piano. And somehow my parents, my parents did so much for us growing up, so much. And one day I had a piano, like it just appeared, and it was the most amazing thing in the world. And I was classically trained at a young age. So I was learning Beethoven, which I can still play because it's just locked in my brain.
Oh, really?
um, yeah, and I'm classically trained in the very beginning. I took piano and studied very seriously for about 8 years. So, so that's where it began, and dabbled a little bit in grade school and band, and I never went to band camp though. That did not happen for me. So I can't really say that. So, but yeah, so then I started doing musical theater and singing, and gosh, we had some really fun times that we used to do in grade school and be in shows and all that sort of thing. But then it kind of just fizzled a little bit for a while. College happened, and I tried being safe. It was so silly. I wish I just stayed with it and studied, but whatever. I'm here now doing the thing, so cool.
Now you mentioned that your parents bought you the piano and
Yeah.
took all those lessons and everything else. What 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 musical influences did you gain from listening to their type of music? Because I know it was playing around the house often when I was over there.
Oh, we had music playing all the time, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, dad was a musician. He played in a bunch of bands. So that was definitely influenced, but we had everything playing in that house. I mean, all the soft rock stuff that I'm a super sap for. I love all the James Taylor, Carole King, Air Supply. Oh my gosh, I'll just melt. I love that music so much. Mm, 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 mm. Um, but we used to, just play everything. And then you guys would come around and who knows what was playing. It was a whole bunch of hair bands. I mean, I mean, I remember like my brother's room was just covered with like Poison and Crew and Guns N' Roses and all that kind of stuff, which I totally dig and love to sing at gigs even today because people still love that music. And it's so fun to sing it on a gig.
Oh yeah, I could still listen to that today too, so I don't know if I could sing it, but I'll listen to it.
Yeah, so it was all over the place. I mean, we listened to everything. And then when I was in high school, I was obsessed with the Rat Pack. I was studying like Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and just listening to them consistently nonstop. So I mean, I've just been kind of around everything, which kind of takes us to where we are today because Andrew has the same kind of opinion on music. I mean, we like it all, every single decade, every single type. Not that I like every single song,
Yeah.
but but I do love every style and everything that comes out. It's so fun to hear how music changes and evolves through the decades.
Oh
It's
yeah, I
it's
I
really rad.
completely agree. Yeah, I completely agree. Because you mentioned, you know, James Taylor, Carole King. You know, my wife Jennifer, she loves James Taylor. I've actually taken her to see James Taylor a couple times in concert, and it's not the most exciting fireworks, pyro, jumping around on stage
I
concerts you're
saw
going
him
to
in
see.
concert too. He's so rad.
But I can tell you what, you sit and you can listen to his music,
Yes.
and you feel the most relaxed that you will ever feel in your life by sitting at one of his concerts.
Isn't that the best? I mean, that is the power of music. Just to stop you right where you are for a minute and be in the best moment ever.
Yeah.
That concert was great. I saw that concert. I went to the Hollywood Bowl. We saw him play there.
Oh yeah.
So super cool. Yeah. You want to see something? I know it's like a podcast, so I'm going to have to describe what I'm doing at the same time I'm on a video, but I'll show you something. You're gonna like it. You ready? Jennifer would like it. This is a James Taylor side guitar.
Get out of here.
Isn't that great? James
Now,
Taylor. Now,
now
he
did
didn't play this guitar. He probably just got paid a boat ton of money to sign it, but it's still pretty cool.
that's what I was just going to ask you. Did you have that signed by him, or did you get that from somewhere?
I wish I could say that, but it was a very, very beautiful gift from a very dear friend of mine.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was pretty cool. So, like that's my like little magical guitar. James Taylor was there. And so, I write songs on it and stuff.
If you could think of his music and you could think of sitting at a concert or sitting at home right now in your house listening to his music, you know, is there a couple songs that pop in your head that, you know what, these are the first one or two that I want to hit play on? I got to listen to these right now.
For James Taylor?
Yes.
How sweet it is. That's such a good little swing, isn't it?
Oh
Just
yeah.
gets you moving. I'd say How Sweet It Is probably my number one favorite of his, for
Okay.
sure. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what the other ones, but that one's the first one that comes to mind every single time for me.
Okay.
Baby James. That's a good one too. Yeah.
How
Do
about
you
Country
listen to a
Road?
lot? You listen to a lot of James Taylor, yeah?
Yeah. How about Country Road?
Oh, come on. Of course. Of
Copper
course.
Line?
Just I have to go. I'm just gonna go listen and just disappear. I just have to go. It's hard to talk about it because I just want to go listen to it.
How about Fire and Rain?
Oh my gosh. Yep. Yep.
It's hard to go wrong listening to anything by him.
Yeah, it's
And
true. And it's so soothing.
it is, and it's not just one album. I mean, his collection is humongous, and it's not just all the popular stuff that you'll hear on the radio or on where we listen to it. You get into
Right.
some of those deep tracks that he has, that definitely will put you in a nice, relaxing mood.
And he's still cooking, like I don't know if you've seen him on social media, but he's still doing the thing. His family, he's very active on social media with his family, and they're all hanging out and like letting people into a little bit into their lives, which is really cool. And it's just He's still working really hard, still writing.
Yeah, he has a
And he'll
YouTube
do it
channel,
forever.
and on YouTube, he's always posting videos of him and his family, and they're sitting around the living room playing music or talking about whatever. Or
They're all musical. Yeah, totally.
the
Totally.
one day he took a video of himself when he was out in the driveway smashing pumpkins or something like that or whatever. I'm like, okay, this is a little bit different, but
You do you. It's cool. James Taylor smashing some pumpkins. Okay. I want to see that. I would watch it. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, he has a YouTube channel. Go check it out. I believe there was something like that on there where he was doing something with pumpkin smashing them or something. I don't know, but
What's going on there? That's cool though. Oh wow.
you
Wow, wow.
also mentioned Carole King.
Yeah.
My wife is a big fan of hers. What or who turned you on to her type of music?
All this stuff, all of these musics in this genre, especially in these decades, in that time, like the 70s, kind of like soft rock into early 80s, that kind of time was completely on my radio, 98.9 FM, Youngstown, Ohio. I would fall asleep to it. I feel like it was like osmosis. Like every single night I fell asleep with the radio on. And like all of a sudden, I mean, I know so many songs from all kinds of things. Andrew's always like, how the heck do you know that song? Even 50s, 60s, all that stuff. I listened to all of it. But yeah, it was just on. I mean, light rock was completely on every single night before I went to bed.
Okay, I can get that, and it's the format here hasn't changed much, so you can still put on 98.9, and you're still going to probably hear that same music in the evening time, putting you to sleep.
That's so good. I don't want it to ever change. Never.
I will tell you this though, the only thing they have changed is they no longer play 80s on the weekends. They used to have a
Oh,
Top Warp weekend on the
yeah,
weekends,
yeah, yeah.
weekend. They don't do it anymore.
Oh, no way. Really?
Correct. They just play regular old music. Sometimes it's top 40 stuff, and
Man, I used to sneak out of my bedroom window and go to HOT 101.1 in the middle of the night and be on the radio. So funny. I had a friend that had a driver's license and I'd like totally hop out of my window. She'd pick me up and in the next door neighbor's driveway, Harriet, she would
all
pull
right.
up, I'd sneak out, hop in the car, and she would drop me off at the radio station.
So bad.
I did that. And you know what? I have to say that, it was Mike the Kid Thomas, who's my friend still to this day, by the way, who now is known as Jagger. And he's syndicated all over the country and doing super, super successful. He was actually just here visiting at the house not that long ago. And it's so funny. We still laugh to this day. Like, yes, I snuck out of my bedroom window. I told my mom to, but I used to be on the radio and like commercials would play and my mom and I'd be driving down the road and I'd be like, turn that down because my voice would come on. Like, oh no, that's a promo. Turn it down. Mom's going to know.
Jeez. Well, at least you told your mom, and it wasn't like a secret until this day or whatever. Or if your mom listens to this, she'd be like, "Oh, what the hell was Brooke doing?"
No, that I think I told her like 5 years ago or something like that. I can't get in trouble now. It's okay.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Um, I don't know which direction to go to from that
I
one.
know
I mean,
this was a really good one. I like to steer you around a little bit. This is fun for me. You used to do things like, actually you were more protective than my own brother sometimes, because my brother would like twist me upside down and try to pile drive my head into the ground. And there was a part of you that would actually say, no, don't do that.
well,
But
it's
then you also encouraged it at the same time and laughed. So, it is what it is. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not holding any grudges.
no, not at all.
Eat a cookie.
That's why you're here with me today.
I'm eating a nervous cookie. Okay, so this is a podcast, so you can't really see what I'm doing, but I'm shoveling a sugar cookie into my mouth right now because I get nervous sometimes, and that's the way I handle my nerves.
So,
It's so good.
if you're playing live somewhere with Andrew on a stage, do you have a stash of cookies up there with you?
No, this is a new thing.
Uh-oh.
This is new. This is just like I don't know what it is. It's just a new thing.
A new
Maybe
tick.
it's a pandemic because like we eat a lot of cookies these days.
I was just gonna say a new pandemic tick that you just started, whatever.
Totally gonna start like, and now it's a new thing.
Uh-oh.
Eat cookies. Just do it. Don't talk about it like I am right now. Just do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if I
Um,
put this video on YouTube, everybody's gonna see you shoveling cookies into your mouth too.
it's okay with me. I don't mind. I mean, we all have to eat. It's
Oh,
okay.
Brooke. Oh,
It's
Brooke.
okay. You know, I'm very just what you see is what you get, man. This is it.
And honestly, in all the years that I've known you, I don't think you've ever changed.
Nope. I think I just got a little bit more bolder.
Yes. Which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's a
yeah.
good thing. You know, I'm trying to make my way and my little mark in the world of leaving this place a little bit more beautiful than it was when I arrived. That's it. So, you know,
I get
making
it.
some people laugh, making some people feeling good. I feel like I've done a pretty good job here on this earth.
I feel that you have to.
Yeah, you got to. You got to. I mean, that's the whole point. That's why the music for me is such a passion, you know? I'm
Well,
obsessed with it.
one of your influences that you put on here that you had a big passion for was the Eagles.
Oh,
What can you tell me about the Eagles? What do you like about them, or what was it that made you say, you know what, I like these guys. They're really cool.
I have to say that if you had to pinpoint me and say you are going on an island and you get to listen to one band or singer or whatever, who would that be? And I love everything, as we've talked about. I would have to say, put me on the island with the Eagles. If I can have every single one of their songs, I could I could do that. And eventually I'd probably get sick of that too, but I'm just saying that's exactly who I would pick. Um, the thing about the Eagles that I really love in terms of the band is that have you ever seen them play live? I don't know if you've seen them like they did their Get Over It tour, and it's a really rad video. You can see it on Netflix or YouTube or something. And every musician holds his own. The way that they were able to master how they were able to do what they did is because they didn't allow, and they definitely had their own drama stuff because musicians are musicians and we're all crazy, whatever. But they were able to respect each other and each other's musical zone and allow each one to shine. I mean, how many of them have written the songs? How many of them are featured over here while the other guys are backing up over here? And how harmonious it is. It is like truly a religious experience when you listen to them play. I mean, just listen to every single individual part and how they all dance and intertwine with each other. It's insanely amazing to me. So their musicianship to me is just insanely amazing. So, you know, and I was going to have a house on the beach with Glenn Fry, but that never worked out for me. So really had some hopes there, but didn't happen. So I'm kind of sad about that. Really thought that maybe one day that would work out. So yeah.
I could hear the passion in your voice when you talk about the Eagles just there. I mean, that's some sincere appreciation for their music and what they've done. I can hear that in your voice.
Truly. I mean, when you study, you know, when you're studying music and you're listening to music, you know, the tone, as a singer, you know, I play instruments, but really my true craft of which I'm working to master is singing. And the tone, especially when you're working in the studio, you know, got those headphones on and every moment of that sound that you are, you know, you're creating matters. You know, it's getting locked onto tape or, you know, whatever. But you know, and singing that with heart and control and really trying to get your feeling out of what you're trying to say, you know, so that other people can feel the same thing you feel, to me is, you know, the thing that which I'm trying to master. And I think the Eagles, you know, they got it, they did it, you know, they completely did it. And then they did that 1994 album, Hell Freezes Over. Yeah. That's when they, like, I had known and heard and listened to the Eagles prior to that album. So I knew of them. But then that came out, and I remember I had the cassette tape and I wore that thing out. Like, buy cassette tape, it would go, you know, get over it, get over it. You know?
Uh,
But yeah, that album was just super, super rad, and then just made me go backwards even more and listening to them like through the years and whatnot. So yeah, I really dig them. They're cool.
awesome. That's funny because you dabbled in them a little bit before that
Yeah.
album because you knew of them, but when that Hell Freezes Over album came out or tape came out, did that make you go back and listen to everything, not just the popular music that they put out beforehand?
Well, I would say that I would listen for it. You know, I didn't have like a whole extensive. I had like a little zipper cassette thing. It's not like I had a whole bunch of bucks to go buy music. It's not like we had internet or YouTube or anything like that. You know, so it was, you know, if it came on, you got to hear it. Cool. I did dig into my parents' 8 tracks, tried that out because they had an Eagles 8 track. I remember listening to that too. And then they were like, you can't rewind it. And I was like, what do you mean you can't rewind? What? But yeah, I would be able to hear it when I could, but you know, it's not like I had a whole bunch of bucks in my pocket to go and buy a whole bunch of cassette tapes or anything like that. You know, it was just whenever you could hear it, you could hear it. You know,
Okay.
so you had those moments. But yeah, and I don't even know if I really realized it at the time. I mean, that was 1994. So uh, I was a freshman in high school or 8th grade or something like that. You know, so that's like 13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
That's 13 or 14 years. That's my niece's age. That's insane to me. What happened?
Yes.
What? Yeah. So, you know, at that time, I think that was like New Kids on the Block time, wasn't
It
it?
was. Well, it depends on what radio station you were listening to or what MTV video you were watching or whatever it was, because 13,
Yeah.
14 years old, your brother and I, we were listening, like you said, from anything from Motley Crue and Poison
Mhm.
to Eazy-E and NWA.
On skinny bop bop. She just loves to play. Yeah. On skinny bop, nothing more to say. Yes. I sound just like him, don't I? I know I do. It's
Yes,
fine.
you
You
do.
close your ear. Like if you close your eyes just for a minute, not your ears. Don't close your ears. um, you thought I was poison. I know it. It's
Yes.
fine.
I heard Brett Michaels
Um,
coming out over there.
what?
I heard Brett Michaels coming out over there. Poison. Brett Michaels?
Where? Here? Right now?
Yeah, you. It was coming out of your voice.
Oh, you thought it was me. Ah, yes, it was. It was. I thought you said like he was here at the house. Wait, I'm not ready. I didn't even wash my hair. Hold on. God, give me 5 minutes.
Did you just have a blonde moment? You're not even blonde.
No, this is box color. This is me driving home the other day going, wow, I really got to do something about that. So I didn't cut it. No. So anyway, 1994 was Brett Michaels. Was that also, no, that was also early rap, or was that 90? No, yeah, because you graduated 95. So
Correct.
that was totally like Warren G, Mount Up.
Snoop
And
Dogg, Dr.
Snoop,
Dre,
Dr. Dre. Oh man, I love that stuff.
NWA.
Heck yeah. So all that is all happening in my world. For me, I mean, I know that most, you know, kids were just listening to the New Kids on the Block or whatever. I never really got into that. A little bit, teeny. Oh, and Boys to Men. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And this is how we do it. That
Michael Jordan.
I went to Montel Jordan opening, TLC, Boys to Men concert. That situation was a good concert.
Where was that at?
That was in Pittsburgh. I don't remember what the place was called, but that was actually the very first concert that I remember going to.
Who'd you go there with?
Alicia Sarkis. and her mom. And
Okay.
we had so much fun. And that was my first concert experience. And actually, Andrew and I were talking the other day. His first concert experience is like freaking like Led Zeppelin or something amazing. He's like, what was your first concert experience? I was like, Montel Jordan, GLC, and Boyz II Men.
Well, I think,
So don't judge me. Don't judge me. You know, it's good stuff. And anybody listening to this that's in our age would say, yeah,
well, I think that
defend me a little
I want
bit.
to say that it was the same concert that your brother and I went to that show too.
What?
Yes,
Were you
because
there?
I don't remember if it
This
was the
time?
exact, I don't know if it was the exact same concert, but I remember seeing a show at
Yeah.
Star Lake in Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
and Boyz II Men was the headliner, and Montel Jordan was the opener, but I can't remember who the middle act was. And I
Don't
remember
go
being there.
chasing waterfalls. Totally.
So I don't
We
know
were
if
at
that
the same concert.
we probably were, but I was with your brother and you were with your girlfriends and
Yeah.
whatever.
I think I was that was probably freshman or sophomore year.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. But also, I mean, I remember um, Josh had that white Corsica and
Oh
he
yeah.
put that bass bin, he took out the trunk, or I don't know what the heck you guys did. You put just a bass in the trunk of the car. And then you
Yeah.
put these blue glow lights under the car. So it looked like this blue glowing spaceship thing with monster bass in it. And when I was old enough to drive, I would sometimes get to take that car. And so the girls and I would pile in that car, which you can't do anymore when you're a teenager driving. We used to cruise down 224. We thought we were badass. We would blow like rap as loud as we could. And we thought we were like so badass, but we were just Midwestern girls from Campfield, Ohio, playing rap music like we're thugs. Like I picture it now and how we were like, cruising back. Like we just thought we were badass.
Well, that was the thing to do back then is you got in your cars and you drove up and down 224 with your
Yes, we
windows down,
do.
playing music as loud as you can. And it didn't matter what you played. You just turned
That's
it up as
right.
loud as you can play it. And you just cruised around with your friends.
And then we had one, like we could get the car with the speakers. I mean, you cruised in that car too. I mean, you guys were tough, man, doing the thing with the bass and the Cadillac got that bass. Do you remember that one?
Yes. Oh, wow. You're bringing back a lot of memories right now.
That's pretty crazy though, right?
It is.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the other songs that we're playing. Paperboy. This is coming from the 9-2. Another fat track. So rhythm deep. Pour the orange juice. And let's relax. I'll sipping on Jack because it's like that. I'm cautious a host. So paper brings a prophylactic.
Now, here's my question to you. When's the last time you listened to Paperboy iTunes or wherever? When's the last time you actually listened to that song?
1994.
But you just sang it word for word.
It locks, man. Lyrics lock in my head. It's annoying to people because I will be in the middle of a very serious meeting at work, and then all of a sudden I'm referencing some ridiculous song. And I just can't help it. Like it's in my soul. So like you'll say something and I'll be like, oh, and I'll make a reference to a song. It's so annoying, but it's like a natural tick, I
But
guess.
that's what's cool about music though, is you can reference back to a point in your life or listen to something that you always used to listen to, like, we talked
Totally.
about E and Snoop Dogg. You know, I may not have listened to any of those guys since high school, but I
Yep.
guarantee you, if I put on a CD theirs right now, I'm going to
Yep.
sing E word for word because it was just drilled into my head because that's what I listened to for years.
And you close your eyes and you feel like you're that person in that moment of time, just for a second. just for a second, that sweet innocence, that unknowing back then, we just thought we knew everything. You didn't.
No, no, we didn't.
We
But
thought we did though.
we thought we did. We thought that we were cool. And we also thought that we were cool when your brother and I, and I don't know if it was Eric Leonelli, we used to play Belle Biv DeVoe Poison and walk around the swimming pool and dance and sing just like Belle Biv DeVoe.
You guys had your own act.
Yes, we
You
did.
choreographed. You choreographed on the pool ledge. I
Yes.
remember that. You totally did. You guys were all like, Belle Biv DeVoe. Now you know. Girl, I must warn you. God, that totally happened. And then you guys also jumped on the roof of this little pool shack thing and jumped off from the roof of that thing into the pool. I
Yes.
remember that happening as well.
Yes.
It wasn't a safety concern or anything back then.
When I was at your house, even though your parents were there, your brother and I didn't really care about safety too much.
No.
We used to have bottle rocket wars back in the woods behind your basketball hoop. We would shoot light off bottle
Fire
rockets.
them at each other. Like we didn't either. So we would have bonfire parties, that like there was in the between the house, my parents had this yard. It was the most beautiful yard. I called it the Metro Parks, and they had like this cool little back patio. And then as the yard, it's about an acre wide. And then there was this cement slab in the middle that was from something, I don't even know what. And then they had this in-ground pool. And then behind the in-ground pool, there was this basketball court my dad had poured because I was really into basketball. So he was like, all right, cool, we'll hook that up. It was just really, really a fun space. And it was a place that was so inviting for all of our friends to come and hang out. So there were so many memories at that house of us just being ridiculous, but we were safe. We were there and mom and dad were close by, but we would have bonfires. And I remember Dante Sakui, this is totally not having anything to do with music, but whatever. This is an important point because he was like, I'm going to put sparklers in my mouth. And we were like, what? Do you remember Dante Sakui?
I know who Dante is. Yes.
He wrapped his head with a towel. Then he got these safety goggles from my dad because he was a tool and die guy. So there's like safety goggles laying around the house, puts these safety goggles on his head, puts friggin' sparklers in his mouth and lights them all. And he's running around the yard. Like, why? And we were laughing so hard and he was jumping over the fire. Like, thank God he didn't get hurt. Oh my God. What are we doing?
Yeah. Well, I often look back at all the stupid things that we did, and it's a blessing that we didn't get seriously hurt or seriously in trouble with some of the stuff that we did.
I saw my nieces doing the stuff that I did. Man, they would catch hell.
Oh yeah. If I found myself doing something like what I was doing, I'd kick his ass.
Totally. I mean, now you've got a mini you. So, and he's creeping up on that age.
Oh, I know he is.
How old is he now?
Just turned 14.
Oh my God.
Brooke, he's bigger than me. He's taller than me. He weighs more than me. Yeah, I say that almost every podcast. Every time I look at him, each day he's getting bigger and bigger. It's crazy.
No way. That's so
He'll be a freshman in high school next year.
I cannot believe that. That's amazing.
Yes.
Congratulations. Good luck. I don't know what to say. I mean, the apples don't fall far from the trees, so good luck.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Back on topic.
Yeah. I like to steer it a little bit. It's fun. It's
nice kick down memory lane though, right there. I appreciate
that was really nice. I really did enjoy that. And I don't really do well with trying to stay on focus. I mean, you had asked me to fill out this questionnaire thing for how long?
I don't know, about 2-3 weeks, a month. I don't know.
Like doing homework or work. No.
Yes.
All right. Anyway. So back to topic. We're going to stay focused here.
Yeah. You mentioned that Boys and Men show was your first concert. What was one of the best concerts you've ever seen in your life?
Jason Mraz at the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh, really?
Easily. Jason Mraz was such a shocking, amazing surprise. And it happened to be his 40th birthday at the Bowl. So, it's LA, so everybody's lives there. So they had all these friends that were crazy town musicians come onto stage, sing a song. Sarah Bareilles showed up. I'm trying to think who else showed up. There was a whole bunch of people that showed up. Sheryl Crow was there. And she's freaking phenomenal too. Um, and Sarah Bareilles, I lose my mind over her. She's so talented. Her songwriting is insane. Um, but the concert was such a beautiful concert. The music was good. I mean, Jason Mraz didn't need to hold up the whole show. I mean, I don't know if you know much about him. He started, I think, at a Seattle coffee shop. I think it was Seattle is where he's based out of. So when you go to his kind of concerts, you get that still kind of that feel of where he came from. He came from a coffee shop. So think of dude who's not like super dressed up, with his guitar and a microphone. That's where he comes from. And so
Okay.
that's what you see. And then you've got the full band and all that, but he definitely strips it away back to his roots and like what he knows, which is pretty cool. So
Okay.
yeah, but the vibe and the energy there and the people, it was the probably one of the most uplifting experiences um I've ever had. Like it was just rad. Totally feel good.
Awesome.
So
On the
mhm.
flip side of that, what would you say was one of the worst, or maybe one of the more disappointing concerts you've ever attended?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Somebody that you were so looking forward to seeing, and you got to the concert and the show ended, and you're like, you know what? I was expecting more. Was there anybody that did that for you?
I'm gonna have to think about that. Yeah, the truth is, honestly, Ronnie, is that I haven't really gone to that many concerts in my life because I really never could afford it. So even I mean, I never had the bucks to just go and get a concert ticket. And a lot of the time, especially in my early musician years, I mean, I was floating on couches. I was a total like gypsy floating person, sleeping on random couches just so I could study music nonstop. So
Okay.
I would sneak into concerts sometimes, or somebody's playing in Cleveland or something, but um, not that much because I really didn't go to that many,
Okay.
truly.
Well, that's
Yeah.
a good thing if you
But
never experienced a bad one, then I guess.
but I can say, yeah, yeah, yeah. I've definitely gone to a couple concerts where I've just been like, what is this? And why are they doing that? Like I was at the Hollywood Bowl, but I couldn't tell you the people that were playing. It was like one of those, like where they bring a whole bunch of musicians that are, kind of making their way in.
Yeah.
And they were kind of like not super famous names. I did see AC/DC play though at Dodger Stadium, and that was rad.
That's not.
Cannon,
Yeah.
that was rad. um, but yeah, at the Hollywood Bowl, going back to what you were saying, is that yeah, I remember being at the Hollywood Bowl, looking at these people playing at the Hollywood Bowl on the stage, and they just didn't look like they wanted to be there. I was just like, please, I will trade with you. You look so unhappy. Let me come up there on that stage and just take a minute, because that would be the most amazing thing in the whole wide world to me.
Like it was too much work for them to be there right at that point, you know?
It was just really strange. I don't know. I don't remember who they were or what group they were or what was going on there, but
Okay.
yeah, not memorable.
Okay. Hey, you didn't miss anything then, right?
No, and I'm also not knocking anybody because I don't even know who they were.
There you
So I don't feel so bad.
go.
I don't like talking smack, so
What can you tell me about the band, the Pretty Birds? Who are
Uh,
they?
who are the Pretty Birds? The Pretty Birds are two musicians who are relentless, who love to write and create music and won't stop no matter how old they're getting, but still believe in getting their music out to people to enjoy it, um, and to be connected to it. Um, so we're constantly writing, and that's who the Pretty Birds are. relentless musicians that believe in our art and just want to continue to master our craft.
That's cool.
I didn't
Um,
write that. I just made that up.
I could tell because you were like looking around and looking down. I always thought you were reading off of something, but
Oh, I should probably be like a little bit more. Now this is camera as well. I
you're
forgot.
fine. You're fine. Don't worry
Doing
about
my
it.
like turnaround, nervous cookie eating.
Cookies. There goes another one.
We're so good.
Um,
Mm.
when you and Andrew first started playing, you guys were called Brooklyn 232, I believe. So where did the name the Pretty Birds come from?
So, I never really liked Brooklyn 232. I never really liked it. Andrew was very insisting upon using my name. And he said, spell it like the borough. Because I was like, people always ask me how to spell my name. It's my first and my middle name. And it's just wonky the way it's spelled. And so we just used the Brooklyn spelling. And then we had 232, which is a number that follows you. I don't know if you have a number. A lot of people have a number. You see it all the time. It just keeps showing up. And you're like, what does it mean? What is the meaning? Well, 232 shows up for us ever since we've gotten together, started to play. And it still does. I mean, when we pulled into California after it was like taking everything we had to move out here, the bus, we were in Redondo Beach and this bus drives by and it's bus number 232. It just drives right past us. And we were just like, okay, we're supposed to be here, but I don't really think that there's anything with these numbers. So, because I'm still waiting. Like it still shows up and I'm like, okay, already. Like, what do you mean? I'm done trying to figure you out, 232. But that doesn't mean that's not why I got rid of the name. But I just was saying to Andrew, I was like, we need a fresh, like something new. We need a new name. Let's just, let's just be different. It's us, but we're a new chapter of us. As we've been working and creating music, our music today is not the music that it was, 8 years ago. It's different. And we're just different. We're different people, same, but different. And so I don't know. I was like, I said, Andrew, let's just throw it out there. And if something comes along and we think we see something that we like, let's just go for it. And we were sitting in the backyard and this pretty bird landed on the coffee table. And we just looked at it and we went, hey, pretty bird. And I looked at Andrew and I was like, that's a cool name. Hey, the Pretty Birds. I was like, the Pretty Birds. I like that name, the Pretty Birds. I was like, we're songbirds. And we're like, no, somebody has to have that name. Somebody has to have that name. And nobody had it. There's no band called the Pretty Birds. So that's where that came from. And ever since we've named ourselves the Pretty Birds, like we have birds everywhere now. It's the weirdest thing. Like birds walked in our house. I walked around the corner and this bird is just, hi bird, okay, you can go out now.
I saw you had a YouTube video on your channel of a bird. I think it was Andrew was letting the bird out the back door because it came in the house.
That was a second bird. They just
yeah?
come in. Yeah, that was a second bird. And so, it is so funny. And now we're like, okay, well, this is pretty cool. And whenever we're writing music, it's really cool. The birds have always come to the window where we're recording, where I'm singing, where Andrew's playing, whatever. All of a sudden, you'll hear these birds just singing outside. They congregate. It's the coolest, weirdest thing. And so we just we're just looking out the window and going, all these birds are here. Okay, well, I think that's the name. I think that works for us.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, we just flip and switch and we're like, we're the Pretty Birds now. That's our name.
Does Andrew like being called pretty?
Well, depends on the day. Yeah, I do.
Referring back to you guys have been playing for about 12 years or so. How did you and Andrew meet? How did you start playing together as a band?
Okay, so let me sit down with me and let me tell you a story about the way Andrew and I met. I had a business and I lost my ass. Can I swear? I swear.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay, I won't swear too much. I'll be good.
You're fine.
I lost my ass and I lost everything. I mean, I'm talking bankruptcy, everything. And I also was in the midst of a relationship breakup at the same time. And it was just really heartbreaking all around, all around, all around, all around. So I basically sat on a couch and ate chocolate truffles and things for about a week. Felt bad for myself, all that sort of thing that you have to go through. And then I said, that's it. And this is where I was talking about earlier that I was like, okay, you know what? Screw it. Lost everything. Well, now what do I have to lose? Bob Dylan. So I was like, that's it. So I started looking on Craigslist. I was like, I'm going to be in a show. I'm going to be a singer. I'm going to perform. That's it. I've always wanted to perform. I've always taken this safe route. Look at me. I've got nothing anymore. It's all gone. And I'm just going to go do that thing. And so there was an ad for a Rat Pack troupe, and they were looking for background singers on Craigslist. And so I call this number 40 times and I'm just like, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And so I'm like, hi, I can impersonate Marilyn Monroe, and I've done that professionally before. And so do you need a Marilyn for your Rat Pack thing? And so they were like, yeah, we want a Marilyn. And they're like, come to this little Italian restaurant in Brooklyn, Ohio, which is outside of Cleveland. It does exist. I didn't know that. And meet us there, come dressed as Marilyn, and we'll see if we'll give you the gig. I was like, okay. So I throw my hair up, put my hair in this like blonde wig, because I used to do Marilyn Monroe impersonations, and I used to get flown across the country to go, pop out of a closet, out of a cake, out of whatever. I did that too, by the way. And so I was like, all right, brush off the wig. I'm going to go do that and see what the heck happens. And so I put the wig on. I had I don't know if you know this gentlemen prefer blondes, the pink Maryland dress. That's a bright pink with a big bow on the back. I did that. So there I go in a car that I'm borrowing from someone because I lost my car. And so driving up to Brooklyn, Ohio to this little restaurant, in this Italian restaurant, and open the door. All these people are dining, and when you're dressed as Marilyn, you have to stay as Marilyn. Like you are, oh, hi everybody, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much, because you're being watched. Like you're in a big pink dress and you're wearing a blonde wig. Like there's no escape or backstage, nothing. So lo and behold, I walk in, the guys see me, the guys that play the Frank and Dean, and they see me and they're like, oh, Marilyn's here. So like, as soon as I walk in, they only know me from a phone call. I'm Marilyn. I had a track that I had given them, and this was my audition in front of all these people in this Italian restaurant who are dining and paying to be there. And they have no idea like what I'm about to do. I don't even know what I'm about to do. So, and then I turn and I see Andrew, and he's playing the drums, because these guys had their act and Andrew was playing the drums, and they were putting together this band. And so they had this cool little spot that they would go to in this extra room, and they would play music and just rehearse, but rehearse live, because it's the best practice that you can have. And so I just remember turning and I was like, oh, hi, Mr. I don't know you. Okay, I'm gonna sing my song. So I turn around, sang my Marilyn thing, and that was that. So afterwards, Andrew had come up to me and said, hi, Marilyn. So, and he met me as Marilyn Monroe.
Well,
that's how that went down.
Interesting way to meet, though. I mean, that's a really cool story.
That's how that went down. And then it was really fun. So we went, we did this thing. We get this amazing gig in Youngstown. There was a big, like it's a venue, one of those venues that, whatever, but there was one in Boardman that we had this gig, and we booked the night. So it's the first gig as Rat Pack band, right? So we're all excited. We're going to play this thing. And then, they booked a second gig too, right after that's for the afternoon. So we got like 2 gigs in a row. We're like cooking. It's our first show. This is so exciting, right? So we go, we play the gigs. That night, the band broke up. I kid you not, man. It's like those total typical musician story things that happen. So the band breaks up. And I remember we were in Boardman and we had a hotel there, even though I'm from that area, whatever. I got a free hotel room. Cool. That's awesome. And so we were walking outside of by the Holiday Inn in Boardman, 224 area. And I remember walking with Andrew and he just looked at me and he's like, welcome to being a musician. This happens. And it's horrible. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, it happens. Welcome to, this is just part of being a musician. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't work out. And you can bust your butt. I mean, we were rehearsing probably for like 6 months previous to that.
Oh, wow.
You know, and it just, we had sold out shows, super successful, and then kapow. So then Andrew says to me, hey, well, do you want to do the Marilyn thing or do you want to play and learn some music? And I was like, I will totally prefer being me and I would like to learn. And that was day one. And so we've been playing ever since then.
That's really cool. That's a nice way to tell that story of, you had all these big ambitions and then that's what musicians do. They break up and you got to figure out what you're going to do.
I mean, if there's anybody who's taught me these things, Andrew's taught me so much about so much. And, it's just one of those points that, it's heartbreaking. I can't say that it was easy. It wasn't like snap and switch and move. It wasn't.
Yeah.
But we did it.
Yeah.
And so then it went into like a very, very serious study for me because I had to be the one that was the main vocalist for the two of us. And when you're doing a gig for 3 hours, 4 hours, sometimes we've played gigs for 8 hours. So, you got to have a lot of songs.
And you have to know all the lyrics. You can't fake it.
You can't fake it. You can kind of have a cheat sheet, but you don't want to be the person that's like looking at the things. You want to engage with people. And even if you're making up the lyrics, they don't care. It's fine. Fine, as long as you get it kind of right.
Yeah. So you guys go out to California, you get settled out there. The time frame that you've been out there, how many years you've been out there now? You said 8 years, 9 years, ballpark?
Yes, something. I don't even know. I don't think it's that many years. I think it might be 6.
Okay. So
I think it might be 6 years or something like that.
So the 6 years you've been out there,
Yeah.
have you played in any what you would consider like a big time venue or a big time show? Was there one of those wow factors you went into a place going, wow, I can't believe I'm here? Nothing?
No. We played and hustled up gigs before we moved out here. So, we were calling and getting club gigs and that sort of thing, nonstop. And then we got out here and we were playing a whole bunch of gigs, but we found that, the venues, they pay you the same thing that they paid in 1960. So if you think you're going to make a living, you're not going to do it. So you have to have alternative plans. So, of course, so we knew that too going in. But yeah, we started playing all these clubs and it got really goofy, and playing clubs is a really difficult thing. You've really got to have people on your side, and it's a resilient thing. Like you have to be very resilient. I can only kind of explain it. But you learn a lot and it really makes you have a lot of character when you've played a lot of clubs for a lot of years. That's the best way I can say it in a kind way. And people aren't always so nice to you. And they'll not be so nice to you. And then you got to go out and smile to a bunch of people and make them feel better after somebody was kind of a jerk to you. It's hard.
I can only imagine. I couldn't do it. I couldn't be in your shoes and doing what you're doing. That's just not me.
Yeah. I think of that too, though. Once you're playing the gig, all that other stuff goes away and you just kind of like, well, you suck and I'm here for these folks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But of course, you can, it has been a lot of fun though. We've played a lot of gigs in Redondo Beach, especially area. But I have to say that my most favorite, don't tell California, is playing in Youngstown. the best crowds. I mean, we've played in Pittsburgh, we played in Cleveland, we played in Michigan, we played all these little towns in between. We've played out here, sorry, California. We've had a lot of fun out here. People love to have a good time out here. And I don't want to knock that because it's been really, really nice for the crowds that we've had out here too. But I don't know, maybe it's just home. Maybe it's just hometown,
Maybe,
you know. It could be that for me too. But yeah, we had a lot of gigs that I really, really enjoyed in Youngstown, Canfield, Lake Milton. Lake Milton. That was fun. And Lake Milton was one of our very first gigs at this little bar. And we didn't even have money to get like equipment. So we borrowed a friend's like music cabinet, but it was like one of those huge, you really like, you need two of them for like a big event. So we only took one speaker and we borrowed somebody's mixing board. We had no money. So we were like, let's take that. Oh, cool. You can borrow that. Great. So we were lugging this big speaker special. Oh, those were the days.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get yourself started, right?
Hey, you got to do anything. If you want it that bad, you got to do it. And you have to not have an ego about it. Like you just have to go in and you don't know what's going to happen,
That's what makes certain people successful in life. That they're not just handed everything on a silver platter. You have to work for it and earn
That's right.
everything that you're working for, to buy nice things, to do nice things, to have nice equipment, to be able to play at a nice venue. You have to earn all that till you get to that point.
That's right. And you have to have the courage to just take step one,
Yes.
which to me, I think is the hardest one. I mean, I don't think I could have done it without Andrew. I really don't. Really don't, because Andrew was like, right in the beginning, he was like, okay, open mics. I didn't know what an open mic was. I mean, I don't know if you've ever heard like the experience of open mics for musicians and what that is. I mean, it's a thing. I didn't know. I was so naive to it all. But he was like, no, you got to get you just go to an open mic. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you go in, you sign up and you go. And I was like, oh my gosh, no, I can't do that. So he's like, no, we're going to go. We're going to go do that. And so we went to open mics, and it was there's so much learning to do that. And you don't know what you're doing, and it's kind of scary, but now I can go to open mic anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere. Just like, that's so much fun. I love going to open mics and trying new things and exploring that. And I'm not afraid of it, but had I never took that first step, not first step, the push that I received to go, and the encouragement, I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do it myself. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
So one other question I have for you, as far as being out in California and being the big time musician that you are, little sis, have you met anybody famous in the musicians, bands, anything like that? Anybody in the music world, any brushes with greatness that you've had out there in California?
The brush with greatness story. See, you saw that.
Yes, I did. I did my homework.
We're going to have to do another one with Andrew, because he's going to have to tell you some brushes with greatness. He's got some really good ones.
Okay.
I have not personally seen or come across the path of people. I don't think. Maybe once I'm done talking, I'll be like, yeah, I mean, I've definitely crossed paths with a lot of famous people in my day, through the years, but I can't think of anything like right now off the top of my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a problem. I figured I'd throw that out there since you're out there in the music world in LA, and
Yeah. I mean, we're really trying to focus on, right now we're working on a song and a video right now. That's our pandemic project.
Okay.
So we're working on that pretty feverishly, and, working on getting our songs out for licensing, right now, and, trying to explore that a little bit, that venue. So versus playing, I mean, we still want to play gigs. I want to play gigs. Like, I always want to play gigs, but, I'm looking for a little bit of a different explore space.
I got you.
Yeah.
So do you have any last questions or any last little plugs that you want to make for you and Andrew while we have you on the podcast still?
Yeah, for sure. We just dropped one of our original songs called Low. It's a pretty cool song. You can check it out. Maybe we can include a link or something like that for it.
Yes, I will do that.
Yeah. We wrapped that up not too long ago in the studio. Um, and we're super proud of it. So it'd be really cool for some folks to take a listen to it. Check it
Cool.
out. See
I
what
will
you think.
definitely put a link up when we're done with this and get all this editing done with my podcast here. But Brooke Lynn, little Brookie, whatever you want to.
Oh, Ronnie.
It was really good catching up with you. I know
It
it's
was so
been
good catching up with you.
it's been a while, but talking with you, talking some memories, it's been good to catch up, and I've really enjoyed seeing you again.
I know. I really enjoyed seeing you too. It's been like a billion zillion years. We look pretty good for a bazillion gazillion years old.
I would say that we're getting up there in age, but we're hanging on, aren't we?
We're trying, man. We're trying. I just have to make sure I'm, applying my masks at night and my cucumbers. Keep that skin fresh, honey.
Oh, geez.
I don't do any of that.
I hope not.
I should. One day I'm going to look at myself and say, you should have done that. Anyway.
Yes, maybe. Anyway, well, maybe sometime soon, once your partner Andrew has some time when he's not over in the studio over there, that I can get you and him both to sit down with me and we'll have another little chat. How's that sound?
Sounds so much fun. I'd love to.
All right. Well, Brooke, I do appreciate your time joining me on my Music Spectrum podcast tonight. Well, tonight for me, this afternoon for you over there in California.
Yeah.
We will definitely do this again. I'll reach out to you. Those of you who haven't done so already, make sure that you subscribe to my podcast. I am on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify. I have a Facebook page. The Pretty Girls, check them out. They have a website. You guys are on Facebook. You have a YouTube channel. Am I missing anything?
We just uploaded everything to SoundCloud. So our full music library is now on SoundCloud, which is linkable from ThePrettyBirds.com.
Cool.
I did a good plug right there. Look at that.
I know you like that. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Brooke. It's time for us to get out of here, guys. Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed our conversation because I know I did. I'm pretty sure, Brooke, you did as well.
Heck yeah.
All right, guys. Until our next podcast, thank you guys for listening and have a good night. Thank you.